Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up, it's your girl Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
This is Shayna Baszler, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in Smackdown Live.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up? It's the moonwalking, trash talking princess of Staten Island. I want to remind you all that Mela is money, and you're watching Going In Raw.
Hi, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
This is the knockout artist, Cassius Ohno, and you're Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever fine podcasts are. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it to make sure you're always getting your new Going In Raw notifications. You also got access to our community tab over there on YouTube. We posted up a new poll.
Oh, yeah.
I was very curious to know not just if people thought it Raw last night was a yay or a nay. There seems to be a lot of split opinions on that one. But also the didn't watch, don't plan to category was interesting to me because it was down to 22%.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been hovering around the 40 to 50% mark.
This is the most positively received Raw in a while.
Last week got a really, really large yay contingent, I think, because it was actually a decent episode if I remember last week. But I think it did anyways.
Here, I'll check.
All right.
No, last week.
Oh, wow.
14%.
Oh, wow.
And this one's up to 26.
All right, well, that's good.
On 3,000 votes.
So, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve Larson. Oh, one thing I want to note about the Patreon too. I've been making a note about this, but I want to do like a pre-recording thing for the audio version of the podcast. We've been placing ads in the audio version of the podcast because we're a business and we need to do that. However, we do offer an ad-free audio RSS feed as well on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson for $1 a month.
Only takes $1.
$1 a month. You'll now have access to not just ad-free version of Going In Raw, which you can get as an RSS feed, but also the bonus show content at the appropriate Patreon tiers. So if you're only at $1 a month, that goes a long way for us, and you get one bonus episode every single Monday. If you go up to $5 a month, you get the bonus show Monday through Friday. So that's kind of cool, too. And it's all on an RSS feed. You can import it into whatever podcast app you use, and it'll automatically download if you do that. So that's pretty cool. I figured that out. Patreon just basically, they had that available the whole time. I had no idea.
That's super cool.
Yeah. I'm not good with technology stuff.
Nor am I.
So that's really cool. And then also at $1 and up, you get a shout-out here on the show.
So we had some more patrons, didn't we?
We had some more patrons. Yeah, we had some more patrons. So I'm going to go ahead and shout some of them out. Let's see here. Jordan Varden, Chris Harding, Wonderlips, Boudrix, Sinclair Thompson, Robin Lormer, Owen Larman, Ryan Mann, and Frankie Dixon. Thank you so much. Today, the bonus episode today is exciting because it's Truth Exposed Day. We've been figuring out what we're going to watch. What if it's real, though? What if it's real? You have to open your mind.
My mind is completely open.
Your mind is closed. It's shut down.
Completely open.
My voice is a little off, man. I was screaming for them McMahons last night.
No, you weren't.
In a nutshell.
We were screaming for the revival last night. That's what we were screaming for. Yeah.
I did a travel vlog. It's going to be like a really short one. I'm always like, oh, I got big plans for travel vlog. And then I'm always like really sheepish about like recording stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just not the kind of guy, like, surprisingly, I just don't go around, hey, everybody, what's going on? Blah, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I find it goofy. I get self-conscious easily.
Yeah.
Had a good time last night, though.
Yeah. I mean, it was
we
5 hours.
We went. It was in Sacramento, so
we went. It was 5 hours for you guys to watch this week's episode and next week's. We won't talk at all about next week's.
However,
we will next week.
It won't be live because it's going to go up either late. We've talked. I have an idea about this. Either late Christmas Eve or first thing Christmas morning. So we're actually going to record the recap for that later today. Obviously, we're not going to live stream because it'll be chock full of spoilers.
Yeah,
but it was a fun show.
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of people are making a big to-do about the episode. And I totally see everybody's point of view for the most part. In terms of let's just look at the optics. It started out with the Authority. It started out with the McMahons, Vince, Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane.
Yeah.
So you can on one hand, if the glass is half full, you can they're acknowledging there are big problems. Yeah. Evidently, according to I think WrestleVotes had a report that Vince was very reluctant to be on TV. He didn't want to be back on TV, but it's sort of a sign of, in their words, desperation. He knew he needed a big event, and the McMahons typically are a big event. When they're doing something with this gravity, there did seem to be some sense of sincerity from them, saying, look, we know things are broken around here, and we're going to try to fix them. And Triple H made a point of saying over the coming weeks and months,
you'll be seeing fresh matchups, new superstars, new faces, new opportunity, like a focus on wrestling. There's something else I was going to make a point of saying.
And while you think about that, when you look at either the spoilers from next week, which we're not talking about, or if you look at just last night's episode, yes, we saw more matchups that we've already seen. The entire opening segment, the Baron Corbin bit, was essentially...
the whole match between Baron and Kurt was pretty much an exact recreation of what happened at TLC.
Right, exactly.
However, glass half full, maybe they're just tying up all these loose ends before moving on to new things.
So I'm reminded of when it's funny because I was listening to a little bit of Meltzer's Wrestling Observer Radio this morning just to get his take, see if there's any inside dirt, and I didn't really hear any.
Yeah,
but he likened it to the stuff they kind of used to do in WCW when it was dying, which I disagree with because if you look at the biggest thing, the biggest sort of reboot, the biggest obvious reboot that Russo pulled.
Oh, was when he vacated all the titles.
He brought everybody out there, and as if nothing mattered before, he stripped everybody of the titles, brand new reset. I think, and look what happens. That's a one-time temporary bump in the ratings.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, shocking. But the bottom line is you still have the same kind of garbage going on before. Vince McMahon is the kind of guy where I honestly believe he's the kind of guy, well, let's wrap up these stories because I don't want to, it would be, if you think what happened last night was insulting to our intelligence, well, look at what it could have been. It could have been them hitting a complete reset. Everybody's feud just drops. So then all the in-universe, in kayfabe motivations just have to dither away. Yeah, they just have to go away. Yeah. That doesn't make a lick of sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
So you have to, and here's the thing. Look at the logistics from the company standpoint. We're coming up on Christmas Eve, or the Christmas week episode, and we're coming up on the New Year's Eve episode.
Yeah.
Those do historically low. Those do traditionally very, very low ratings.
They're not going to do anything groundbreaking or new, or they're not going to do any serious refresh during the Christmas Eve episode nor the New Year's Eve episode because no one's going to be watching it. Their best chance, even the week after that, on the 7th, is the college football playoff final. That's going to get huge numbers. So we might have to wait really until the 14th of January to see any real significant major changes.
It's kind of, I would think, from a company standpoint, it's a bit on the advantageous side that we're coming up on these 2 weeks where they can essentially, while understanding that we're going to get low ratings regardless. It doesn't, dude, if next week, so it airs on Christmas Eve, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next week's episode airs on Christmas Eve. If they brought up the Undisputed Era, Aleister Black, Gargano, and Ciampa all on an episode, it would still get low ratings.
Yeah.
That would still be the case.
Totally would.
So you can do whatever you want on Christmas Eve. It's going to get bad ratings, so you might as well take that time and
I feel like they did.
Wrap up the loose ends.
I feel like they did. Again, no spoilers for the Christmas Eve episode. They started wrapping up some of these storylines, though. Mm-hmm. They were on the process to wrapping up some of these things that had started.
Yeah.
I can think of at least 2, if not 3 instances where stuff can be done now.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. There is, having been there live, I'm not exactly sure how the third hour played on TV.
Oh, of Raw?
I always like when the Seth Rollins Gauntlet match.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It's not like it was stellar wrestling from the entire hour that match happened.
What, last night?
No. I'm talking about the original, the Seth Rollins
2-hour one, yeah.
That was 2 hours. That was 2 hours,
Seth
right?
was in it for an hour himself, yeah.
Seth was in it for an hour, which was a really compelling story for an hour.
Yeah.
But you're not on the edge of your seat. It's not like Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, where there's no rest holds. It's like people are still going to do that. The last hour last night showcased the women's division. Now, I guess there could be a little bit of cynicism in that, Vince might have paid attention to Twitter when Asuka won. Wow, women's division's hot. Let's have the entire third hour. I kind of appreciate that.
No, I do too, because it seems like right now, both on Raw and SmackDown, that's kind of the one thing you can kind of say they're doing right across the board for the most part, is how they're handling the women's division.
Yeah.
It's been pretty interesting, captivating stuff the last few weeks.
And I kind of appreciate that.
And focusing on what is actually working, that's just sound strategy.
Yeah. So I like that. I thought that was different. I thought the one thing, my one takeaway, and granted, it's not all amazing, it's not all great, but the one takeaway I got that I'm tentatively pleased about the most in all this is when they mentioned, I think it was Stephanie, when she was saying, meddling managers aren't going to be getting in the way of wrestler. We're going to let the wrestlers, and I'm pretty sure she used the word wrestlers. We're going to let them wrestle. That seemed to be one of the points that they were trying to get across. And if you look at what happened in not just the fatal four or the four-way tag match last night, but
also the last hour of the show was all wrestling.
It was all wrestling. You get the Revival coming away with a championship opportunity. The only thing I'll spoil about the Christmas Eve episode is we get that match. They get their title. Match.
That was announced. I think.
Okay, was that announced?
Maybe not.
Okay, well, you do get it. And I will just say this, not going to spoil who won. They wrestled a match that we really, really enjoyed.
It was really good.
It was Rude and Gable, and they got to showcase how good they can be as a wrestling team, as a wrestling tag team. And then we saw some stuff from the Revival
that we hadn't seen before. Yeah.
There was no shenanigans. There was no this or that.
It was a really well scripted, well paced, well wrestled match.
It was within what we were used to seeing with the Revival.
Yes.
And that in itself, to me, is a positive step.
Yes.
I really hope, going back to glass half empty, I don't want them to be messing around. Like, Paige is a great general manager on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I really don't need Stephanie there.
No.
I don't want them to be. Look, I want to know that we're taking it seriously, and we have to take what the McMahons say with a grain of salt because they made plenty of mistakes in the past.
Oh yeah, and to a certain extent, I understand when people are having the reactions they are when they open the show saying Triple H saying we're gonna get fresh matchups, and then the whole show's filled with repeats matches and continuation of feuds that have to a certain extent already gone past their shelf life.
Yeah,
I understand that, but at the same time, just based on logistics, looking at the calendar, it's not the season where you make huge wholesale changes.
Yeah,
because no one's gonna be paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we get this was kind of interesting. The NXT Callups, because they said we're going to be seeing new faces, and if you look at who's being called up, granted, I kind of think that these call-ups are going to happen between now and
the Rumble.
And then I do think that we're going to get some big name call-ups
after the Rumble,
because nobody that was announced was like a big name. Like Nikki Cross, let's go down the names real quick. Nikki Cross, she basically had her call-up on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird how they.
It seems like that was like a one-off
call-up, non-call. But there was that time on episode of Raw where they had the entire women's division out on stage, and she was there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, if Nikki crosses above Brand, I'm all for it.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
It's still weird, though, that if we're going to call her up, she's going to go to Raw and not SmackDown.
Oh, I think that was across WWE. I think those were meant to be, because it did not say Raw. It said coming to WWE. It
didn't on the video package, but on Twitter, they hashtagged it Raw. That could just be...
They did the same thing with Lars Sullivan.
Okay. They could just be the same. It could just be this happened on Raw. Not that they're coming to Raw. So, yeah,
given that's what we saw with Lars Sullivan.
It was unclear, yeah. It was unclear where they're
several of those wrestlers who were announced, I forget, I think Nikki was one of them, maybe EC3, I forget, said along the lines of it doesn't matter where I go, or depending on where I go. Yeah, yeah. So that's a cross brand. We're going to get those 6 between now and, or those 5 acts anyways.
Yeah,
between
now
and then.
The Rumble, yeah.
Heavy Machinery, I'm kind of scared for, to be honest with you.
They'll probably go to Raw.
If they keep things the same, they'll probably go to Raw.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross, I think, is fantastic, but given that we've already kind of seen a pseudo call-up, it's not like a big,
Yeah.
Lacey Evans, we kind of saw coming.
Yeah.
She's really, really good.
Yeah.
But the title scene in NXT right now, she comes across as kind of an EC3 type.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just sort of I know she's been in NXT for a long time. She was she did a promo in Breaking Ground as part of their tryouts.
Yeah.
But the way she's developed, especially over the past 12 months, she's ready for main.
Yeah, her character work is fantastic.
She feels like a main roster character.
But I don't really know where she fits, though.
She's very much a character, too.
Yeah, which leads me to think Raw.
I could see her as acting as sort of if Alexa Bliss. It's going to be a while before she comes back, I suspect, because that concussion stuff, apparently, I mean, they have her
dealing with vertigo and stuff.
They have her basically doing wrestling in a ball pit, at McDonald's. They have her like super crash pads.
Yeah.
I could see her as being kind of a soldier of an Alexa Bliss, regime, I guess. I could see that.
EC3, he seems like a SmackDown guy.
He does. But Vince is going to love him.
Oh, I hope so.
I honestly think somebody here in chat said that they could see him in like the losers' locker room within 6 months.
I don't know. Just give him the mic and let him do one of his crazy promos.
I think the fact that
he'll be fine.
They didn't simply just cut together a bunch of stuff for him.
No, that was the thing. Because everybody else has got kind of like standard B-roll with some previous interview footage. And that stuff with EC3, man, did he shoot that himself?
I don't know. He is so flippin' good, though.
He is.
I am so much more excited now. And I was even excited when he got signed to NXT. But I was like, where does he really fit in? And that's why when he came in, we were both kind of like, he should really just be on the main roster.
Totally.
He's already a main roster guy. So this makes all the sense in the world. And it also kind of makes all the sense in the world why they've been booking him so strong in NXT. They're doing this thing now. They had like Lars Sullivan beat Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Where I guess if you don't win a title, like the math is kind of, if you don't win a title in NXT.
You get booked strong on the way out the door. But if you do win a title, then you have kind of like a lame duck session or period in NXT before you get called up.
And they just literally forget you existed.
Yeah.
I'm super hyped. That butt shot.
Oh.
I marked out so hard. That was brilliant.
That was great.
He takes off his cuffs and his
wristbands
are underneath.
He unbuttons his shirt. He undoes his belt. He pulls down his pants, and he's got his ring gear on. And it's just a shot of his butt. It's brilliant.
It's like Joel Schumacher. Yeah. It's like his Batman. That's what it is. That's what that was. Yeah. And it's brilliant.
It's so good.
It's absolutely brilliant.
It's so good.
So I like that. And yeah, look, man, we still got a lot of Baron Corbin. Like, we got that. I get it.
Well, here's a spoiler for the Christmas Eve episode. There's not as much.
But it's a very prominent spot for Baron Corbin on the Christmas Eve episode. But I'll be honest, like that Christmas Eve episode, I think we both kind of, and maybe it was because it had a brisker pace that we didn't have to deal with commercials and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They just taped the matches. And we have no idea. There was like one backstage interview that we saw.
Yeah.
I'm sure they filmed a bunch more.
Yeah, because there was about 2 hours of content they shot while we were there, which would leave about 15 minutes of airtime unaccounted for.
Backstage.
But what we saw, it felt a lot like a really well-produced, really well-put-together house show.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It was wrestling, too.
Yeah, it was all wrestling.
It was wrestling. So that was cool. Let's get a couple of these super chats done, and then we'll get into the minutia of the show.
Keenan McCarty, you guys have to check out Mustafa Ali's Chasing Glory interview. No shame, I cried like 6 times. Wow. Also super hype for Wrestle Kingdom. Go Ace!
Man, I'm pulling for Tanahashi. Which is
Omega's
weird because
totally
I've never been a Tanahashi.
I know.
fan.
You've never been a Tanahashi.
You know what, man? Because that dude is solid New Japan.
Yeah, he is.
Kenny, I don't know where he's going. Is he going to WWE?
not
All Elite
going-
Wrestling?
he's not going to WWE.
Staying in New Japan? I don't know what he's doing. Look, man, give me guys who are loyal, who are going to be there.
All right, Matthew Cox. Don't spoil no ish. Won't be no ish.
Brandon Lusala. Whose debut do y'all think will be most impactful?
Hopefully EC3's.
Hopefully EC3. I think the crowd is going to love him so hardcore.
Alto, follow Eddie on Instagram for sweet pics from Raw at Eddie_WB. Yeah, Eddie was sitting front row center towards Hardcam.
Yeah, man.
Got all sorts of cool pics.
It was great to see. We did a little Friendo meetup there.
Yeah.
Great to meet so many of the Friendos. We
Yep.
got some swag. They'll be in the travel vlog. It was great
sure.
to see everybody there.
RTGTZ, always fun spending my planning period with you guys.
That's good.
Ryan Supernova, which merch shirts did you guys wear last night? I wore a Caljack shirt.
I didn't. I wore an Odd Future shirt because I like their donut designs. Ryan Supernova. Oh, no.
I read
Jeffrey
that
Nguyen. Leg day. Let's get this bread. Josh Little. You guys look tired.
It was a long day yesterday.
My voice is tired. My voice
It was
is
a long
definitely
day.
tired.
We got another Raw recap to do after this one for the Christmas Eve episode.
I know. It's fun. And then we're doing like Friendo Award nominations after. Is that right?
If we're up to it,
All right.
going to have to go get some coffee at some point. Aaron, what changes do you guys think will happen? What changes would you guys like to see happen in the coming months? Just focus on the wrestling.
That's what SmackDown does so well.
Exactly. Just essentially make Raw more like SmackDown. Just
Yeah.
have the motivations be clear and simple. Let the characters dictate where the stories go and focus on what happens in the ring.
You know what I liked? I don't know if you mentioned this in the notes because it was such a small thing, but when Shane said to the authors of Pain and Drake Maverick, rematch clauses are antiquated.
I just added it in the morning.
All right, cool. We'll talk about that really quick. I really like small tweaks like that can make a big difference. You know?
It keeps feuds from overstaying their welcome.
Exactly. So it's like, no, you don't automatically get a rematch because that's kind of silly. If a rematch makes sense, then do it.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself, but also there's no need to sort of just jam it in there for formality's sake.
Yes.
And that'll help. Little things like that, I think, will go a long way.
Yes.
As you all know, the episode of Raw kicked off with
Vince McMahon. He came out and he said, even a man of vision, of genius, of wild creativity can't do it on his own.
Here's what cracked me up about this is that, a bunch of people on Twitter were saying, you guys need to go out there and just boom, boom.
Yeah, he goes,
boom.
First thing he says is, you better come out here and boo me.
Do you really think booing Vince McMahon out the door, you think he's going to go? He's like the Hulk. You boo him, he gets stronger.
He doesn't care.
He gets
Whatever
his powers grow.
Whatever boos the crowd last night could have thrown his way would have been a pale comparison to the level and pure decibels of boos he got during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
During the whole Mr. McMahon Austin.
If
feud.
he came out and we gave him the Roman Reigns treatment that Roman got at the Raw-Mania, he would have. You would have seen. He literally would have grown. He would have grown in mass.
Flexing
you think
his pecs,
booing's
man.
going to do thing one to that man?
No, he doesn't care.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it. He sees what's happening right now as probably a challenge that he will conquer. Another thing that he'll conquer, low ratings, he'll figure it out. That's what's going on in his head. Whether or not he will, whether or not the steps he takes are going to work, that's another thing. If you boo him, he will simply get off on it. That's Vince McMahon. Give me a break. Booing him isn't going to do anything.
No.
Anyways,
he introduces Stephanie, Triple H, and then Shane, which is a bit of a surprise considering he's commissioner of SmackDown. And they take turns on the mic, and the general point is no more middle management. We're going to be taking the reins and running Raw. And then Shane made the point of saying, and SmackDown. And we mentioned in the open of the show some of the things they touched on: fresh matchups, new faces, just listening to the fans. What I dubbed after Triple H finished the fan service era. Because he said, we're not the authority anymore. You, the WWE Universe, are now the authority. We're going to listen to what the fans have to say.
Now, I can actually approach that one as a glass half empty thing, and it's a small thing. Nobody liked the authority.
No.
Don't call us the authority.
No.
Don't ever bring up the authority again.
Never.
Because what do you think of when you think the Authority.
25-minute promos from Stephanie and Triple H.
Every single episode of Raw. Every episode of Opening every episode. And who do we have? Who do we have in the ring? We have Stephanie and Triple H.
For about 15 minutes before there's any wrestling action.
Exactly.
Anyways, Baron runs out, ruins the party. And then there's like a really oddly timed commercial break where he says, you know what last night was? It wasn't. Oh, one thing you guys didn't mention was fair. What happened last night was not fair.
Yeah.
And there was a commercial break.
And everybody was tweeting at us. What is he saying? What is he saying? He said he wants to have a conversation. What is he saying?
No, lights just went down. Nothing happened.
Literally nothing. Lights went down.
Lights came back up. He was in the ring.
He milled about in the corner of the ring. Lights come up, and then literally nothing happened.
Nothing. So lights come back up. He continues. He thinks he was wronged. He wasn't prepared for Braun because Braun was supposed to be there. He wasn't prepared for Rude and Gable, Apollo Crews, Finn, or Kurt Angle because, again, none of them were supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was unprepared. It was unfair. He wants his job back.
Mm-hmm.
Baron did a great job in this segment getting those boos.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H kept on saying, well, if you boo, we can't hear what he has to say.
Yeah, they're really egging the people on.
And so Baron was trying to talk, getting booed. And in the end, they decide that Baron gets one more opportunity. He can be permanent general manager of Raw if he beats Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my thing about this. So they said, if you beat this guy. Now, Half Glass Empty guy says that is a prime time for... There's two things about this that are kind of wrong. Number one, prime opportunity for a call-up. You want a really good optic that really won't do much of anything else in terms of like altering your show. A really good optic would have been Lars Sullivan or any number of call-ups that could have happened. That would have been a great time for a call-up. I can see the other side, though, from a wider perspective. I mean, there is a wider culture that really loves Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so bringing out Kurt Angle, that is a bit of fan service. But if you really want to, let's be frank here. The 1.5 million people who are subscribing to the network, they're all hardcore fans who live to see call-ups.
Yeah.
So if you really want the optic that you're doing something new and you're not really sacrificing like a meaty story, just do a call-up at that point.
Yeah.
Call I don't care who it is. Just call them up.
No, I know, because then you say we're doing something new, and then it's a complete rehash of what happened at TLC because Heath comes out as the manager. Part way through the match, Triple H says, "Oh, it's a handicapped match now." Out comes Apollo Crews, Chad Gable, Bob Roode. They continue as a handicap match for all about 2 minutes. Shane comes out and says, "Oh, it's a no DQ match too."
Yeah.
And at no point during any of this does Baron have the upper hand. It just feels like another public humiliation for Baron Corbin.
Yep.
Everybody produces a chair. They hit him with the chair. Everyone hits a finisher, and Kurt Angle pins him. Afterwards, they get a table put in the ring, and it's an Olympic slam through the table.
That might have been an audible because the fans were calling for a table during it.
Yeah.
And then they did it afterwards. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
I do think that would have been a great spot for like a perfect spot. Maybe they've got like a specific plan for Lars Sullivan, but you really do need to do something there to it's kind of a new era.
I think what would preclude Lars Sullivan from coming out at that point is probably they have him booked in their mind a certain way, a heel.
Yeah, probably.
And they didn't want to face pop for him on his debut.
Yeah. But you need to do
debut
something.
EC3 there.
Yeah, exactly. And my other thing about that was I totally get how, Triple H said he kept on upping the stakes against Corbin, saying, "Oh, it's a handicap match, etc." I get that, but like you kick that man the first like 4 minutes or so with Kurt Angle. Kurt, he's moving slow these days.
No.
He's moving slow. He looks his age. He's taken a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
During his time as a wrestler.
Well, yeah, even before he was a professional wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Won a gold medal with a broken
neck.
Yeah. So like having Kurt Angle, who like actually like here's the thing. The last time we saw Kurt Angle preceding TLC was him getting humiliated by Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So like Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin have been booked kind of on the same footing a little bit. I know Drew's a bit more manly and he's a lot more manly. But his power ranking is a bit higher kind of. Than Baron's,
I'd say it's substantially higher than Baron's. Drew doesn't have the weakness of roll-up.
Well, yeah, but that's an Achilles heel right there.
Drew has any weaknesses.
Oh, well, I know how you feel about Drew McIntyre, but stepping away from your fangirling of Drew McIntyre, they're kind of on even footing a little bit. My point is, Baron Corbin's a young dude who should be able to annihilate Kurt Angle.
Yes.
He really should.
Yes.
He really should.
Yes.
That's why you need a guy like Lars Sullivan or EC3 or somebody else.
Yeah.
That even he maybe just takes him by surprise. Like, oh, I've never faced this guy before. I don't even know who he is. And then he eats a 1% or whatever.
Yeah, the thing about EC3 though, is of all the people they had that video package for the people getting called up, and I feel like the only one who really got Nikki Cross got a decent response, but in the arena, the only one who got a pretty good response was EC3.
Yeah, sure.
People know who he is.
Yeah, and he's so great.
He's great. He's so good.
Yeah, that would have been huge. That would have been absolutely huge if he made a call up. And I do feel like it was a missed opportunity. You're saying it's a new era. At least give us the optic.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
You're taking your own words seriously.
That's what you can say was a negative about last night, is that the optic of it's a new era wasn't there, and one call up would have made that. It would have made such a difference.
Yes.
It really would have.
Yes.
And firing Drake Maverick.
Yes,
that would have been a thing too.
Yeah,
that
and
could
here's
have been
the
a
thing:
great
at no point, and this would have gotten a pop. At some point, either instead of doing this match and just repeating what we saw at TLC with Baron, or afterwards, Vince just comes out and says, "Baron, you're fired."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but again, like I mentioned, I know it happened literally the night, but you're right. It happened literally the night before. We didn't need to see it again.
No.
You're absolutely right.
No. Next, another fresh matchup, Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler. Again, hopefully there's tying up loose ends.
Yeah.
So pretty much about halfway through, Drew comes down to ringside. Dolph notices. They start brawling the outside.
It's the thing that, look, man, they literally announced it at TLC. You can't do the Russo thing where all those matches are off, bro. You can't do that. You got to have the dang match.
Yep. While they're brawling, Finn hits a planche on Drew. Back in the ring, Finn kicks out of a Famouser. Right as Finn's going for his drop kick that precedes a coup de grace, Drew gets in the ring, just clobbers him, starts beating the heck out of Dolph. And then he dishes out a Claymore for Dolph in the ring and one for Finn ringside. I feel like this is somewhat dealt with the following week. Afterwards, we got Dean Ambrose back. He's got a security detail again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you. Rick Scurvy here in chat makes a good point. He said, just looked on Twitter and saw Zack Ryder got a dark match. Yeah, we should. We were there live.
Sorry, yeah, he beat Mojo in a I don't know if it would be a main event or if it was a dark match.
Well, this was obviously their blow-off.
Yeah.
For
tying up loose ends, fresh matchups.
Exactly. This has been 2 years, 3 years now.
Ongoing for years.
Where Hype Bro finally got the best of his Tyler Durden-esque alter ego. Projection, exactly.
Yes.
Mojo Rawley. That's a joke we haven't gone to that well in such a long time.
Probably about 2 or 3 years.
And I guarantee not a lot of people probably remember that one.
Maybe someone will go and alter Mojo's Wikipedia.
Because I was roaming around looking for some chicken fingers, some chicken strips last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Mojo. I saw peek through the curtains. Oh, there's Mojo. And then I heard Zack Ryder's music. I was like, oh, man.
Blow-off match.
Battle of the Ages.
Blow-off match.
Yeah. All
right. Dean Ambrose came out for a promo. He had his security guys. He had 4 of them.
By the way, that live entrance is even worse than it is on TV.
Oh, it's awful. That siren is bad, and there's flashing lights, at least towards where we were sitting.
Yeah, the flashing lights.
Didn't bother me at WrestleMania.
I can't believe that it did. That's honestly, I'm not giving you crap or anything. It's remarkable to me it didn't bother you at WrestleMania because it was everybody, man.
Here's what I think it was. Because at Mania we were on the field,
yeah,
and so the lights were above us. So if I focused my field of vision towards the ring or below, they really didn't bug me. Whereas here we were in the lower bowl, and so we were about on the same plane as the lights below the Titantron that were strobing and flashing. Mm-hmm. I was on the same plane, so regardless if I looked up or down, in my periphery, I would still see those lights.
So
so I had to turn away.
I honestly think that so I've joked about how good my periphery is.
Yeah.
I think it's a real thing. I think my periphery is vastly superior to basically everybody's. You're probably in the normal. I'm probably in the superior.
I can see. I'm looking straight ahead, and I can see you right now.
Of course. I can literally see the wall behind me right now.
I can see the wall right there behind me.
Yeah, see, the fact that my periphery is so expansive That's why WrestleMania bugged me.
It's still not.
Because I looked behind me when that was happening. I still saw it perfectly. 2020.
Doubtful. Anyways,
continuing on.
So, Dean dropped the promo. He's not helping his cause, getting over his heel because no one seems to care. Still saying, "Yeah, hey, I proved to you that I was right. Seth was wrong." He called people in the crowd dirty.
Meanwhile, we were looking so closely. Look,
to which one of his SWAT team members was Seth Rollins?
Yeah, and there was one
local wrestlers.
So we were trying to figure out who is who. There was one guy who just obviously clear as day had Seth Rollins' exact posture.
Yeah,
and so we're like, oh, it's totally
there's
him.
Seth.
And then yeah, we couldn't. We were speculating on who the others were. Dave Dutra gave some indication on Twitter that he might have been one of them. And we were trying to figure out who the others were. Confirmed it was not Adam Mayhem.
No.
He was going through his own problems. Boy, that sucked.
That does suck. What else did Dean say? He was just going on.
Dude, it was just, it's so aimless.
He says, I'm
going to take everything from him. He thinks I'm going to take everything from him.
I'm going to expose him for a fraud. I'm the moral compass of this show.
It's aimless. It's just aimless heel nothing.
There's
no reason.
There's no, like, if these guys weren't former partners and members of the Shield, you wouldn't know.
There's no reason here. There's no reason.
It plays no part in this feud.
It doesn't.
I know they got some heat for how they approached it initially, but at least that was different and interesting. It could have gone somewhere. This is just generic.
Yeah.
So he ends up calling out Seth. So Seth, here you can come out and face me like a man and say, yes, Dean, you were right. No, Seth, he doesn't show up because he's one of the guys in the gas mask. And then Dean says, whatever. I'll have an open challenge. In comes
NXT call-up Tyler Breeze.
There's your call-up for the night.
So if you recall, Tyler Breeze got called down to NXT for his match with Ricochet.
Which was
so
very
this
good.
Technically is a call-up.
Yeah.
Good for Tyler Breeze, though.
Yes.
I think a lot of people want to see him
succeed.
So, again, I know the Intercontinental Championship, it's a big deal. You know, it's like the top title on Raw because the top title isn't there. So having him win the IC title.
Tyler Breeze? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have been another, again, kind of a great optic, but that's a big thing to do.
It could just be like a 1 week thing too.
It could be, yeah.
You could have Seth cost Dean the Intercontinental title. Tyler Breeze wins it. Just have another match the following week. Dean gets it back.
Yeah.
And it would give Dean an opportunity to show a brutal side.
Yeah, right.
If he didn't leave that in CZW.
Yeah, he gets in there immediately, gives him a dirty deeds.
Yeah.
Picks him, but doesn't let the pin.
Just gives him 5 dirty deeds.
Yeah.
He wins, brings in a chair.
Big heel heat on him at that point. Yeah.
And gets his title back. It could have just been an easy 1 week thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
instead Seth, gas mask Seth just sort of stood there and watched it happen.
Yeah.
You know, come on, dude, do something.
I know, do something. Influence this match somehow. Anyways, Dean wins the dirty deeds. Tyler gave it his best.
Seth's music hits. Or Dean gets on the mic. He says, "Oh, I guess Seth isn't here. I guess he doesn't care." Seth's music hits.
And then Seth.
All the other gas mask guys go to that side of the ring where the entrance
first it was
is.
funny because Seth's music hit, and we knew which one was Seth. We looked at him, and Seth did this with his gas mask on.
Yeah, he starts looking around.
And then the other security guys, they go towards the ramp. Seth gets in the ring, takes off his mask. He beats up Dean, and then Dean flees while Seth gets rid of all the other gas mask guys.
Yeah.
Next, we had a Shane interview interrupted by Drake Maverick and Authors of Pain. They want a tag title rematch, and this is when Shane says, "Automatic title rematches, antiquated, no more of those. Think of the past."
Yeah,
he said, instead, I can give you an opportunity. He says it'll be a fatal 4-way, 4 teams for a tag title opportunity in the future. Revival, Authors of Pain, Lucha House Party, and B Team.
Say yeah.
And that happened later in the show.
Remember when the B Team was a thing for a cup of coffee?
Yeah, I know.
That's still sort of the problem with the Raw tag. It's like you have a team like the B Team with 2 really talented guys and just a go nowhere.
I feel like every time they have to do that B Team, go, 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 it saps a little of their soul.
Yeah, I think it does.
Because that song is horrendous.
Yeah, it's really bad. For a spell, I was like, well, it fits them because they're a comedy act. But I don't want that on Raw anymore, man. Now I'm firmly in the. Let's just get some good tag teams.
Yeah, I just want good wrestling.
Let's get some good tag teams, man.
Good
wrestling.
wrestling.
Look at SmackDown. You can have a jokey tag team like the New Day, but just be really good. You know,
they can be serious when it demands.
It matters more that they're really good.
Then we got the announcement that Lacey Evans, EC3, Nikki Cross, and Heavy Machine are on the way to the main roster. There was like just a graphic, a card that featured them. Commercial break, come back, you get little video packages for each of them. The EC3 one is fantastic. Check it out if you haven't. Next, we get Lashley and Lio Rush in the ring, kind of mimicking Elias's gimmick, sitting in the middle of the ring on bar stools. Leo's doing the talking. Lashley holding guitar, and then you realize, oh, this is the busted guitar he had at TLC.
Yeah.
And then that leads to Lashley posing, and of course he shows his rear end to the whole audience.
He has a very impressive body.
Oh yeah. And then Elias comes in, destroys the guitar across Lashley's back.
Yes. Yeah, that was a stiff shot. That was a stiff shot.
Got him on his shoulder pretty much.
And then. So was it? I think it was announced during the show.
Yeah,
the match that was set up the next week, the Miracle on 34th Street match.
Fight, yeah,
the street fight. Again, no spoilers. It was. I thought it was a really fun match.
It's fun.
I thought it was a really fun match.
Next, we got a Sami Zayn vignette. He's returning soon, recuperating from double shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
And then people said there was a Kevin Owens one that didn't play in the arena.
Yeah. At no point did we both leave.
No.
I am perfectly willing to admit that maybe I sat there and didn't pay attention while you were gone getting your food, and maybe it ran then. I have no idea.
Oh, maybe.
Although I
went during the first match. I left during the Angle Corbin one. They wouldn't have ran a promo during that.
Yeah, so apparently it was a Kevin Owens returns thing soon.
He's not coming back till February. That's what I'd read.
That's around the corner, man.
That's 3 months. 2.5 months.
That's a month and a half.
Well, depending when in February.
February 1st is a month and a half away. Less than a month and a half away.
Anyways, this is a while. Month and a half in my definition.
When is the actual
exactly
Rumble?
soon.
When is the actual Rumble?
27th.
Okay. Cool.
Next, we had the Fatal 4-Way match to our new tag team contenders. Lucha House Party versus Revival versus B-Team versus AOP. Say yeah.
Yeah.
Because Revival picked up the win.
Oh, we got 2 new Erics on Patreon
Cool.
now. Eric Barron and Eric Lipkin. You will fight for title of Eric.
Thank you, Erics. Dash Wilder pinned Bo Dallas after a Shatter Machine. Fun match. Really excited to see Revival win it.
Yeah.
After all the adversity, after all the struggles they've had the last few weeks.
Yeah, man.
And it's good that what Seth Rollins said was heard by the powers that be. Revival got a tag title opportunity.
Yeah, I do hope that the way they've been booked so cartoonishly bad will end up benefiting them, because it is so obvious and people rally around them so much that they are truly a foundational tag team. You can use them to anchor your tag team division. So they go on to fight Rude and Gable next week. And after seeing that match, again, no spoilers, I really want to see that feud continue on because, man, Bob Roode and Gable are really shaping up to be a good tag team.
Chad Gable is amazing.
Dude, we were watching him during that match. He is so smooth.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Anyways, next, Seth Rollins interview backstage. Baron comes in, interrupts it. Seth is saying, I'm not too worried. I'm upset about Dean, but,
Didn't he say something like, he can take my title, but he can't take my heart?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then he said, I heard what people said during a match at TLC, and I took it to heart.
Oh, yeah, he said it was like a low point. He said it was professionally.
He says, that's on me. I'm going to do better. I mean, it's not his fault. He was booked in a feud with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Anyways, Baron comes in, and Baron blames Seth for all his trouble, saying, before this promo, everybody thought,
your fault.
He said, everybody
your
thought
fault.
I was great general manager before you said I wasn't.
But you said I wasn't, but I think I am.
And now I thought I was general manager, but now I'm not general manager anymore, and that's your fault.
I'm not Gum.
And he says, I would take the Intercontinental title from you, but wait. Dean Ambrose already did. Pop! Seth pops him. Just decks him.
Oh.
After that, we had a Ronda Rousey promo that was. It felt like it was written by Vince.
Man, I told you.
Or Triple H.
It sounded. This sounded like it was because I'm pretty sure Triple H is like her handler.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he wrote this because it sounded exactly like a takeover, like him talking about a takeover.
It did.
A champion. What does it take to be a champion?
It was overly verbose.
It really was. Beating all the odds. Being a good person. So like weird stuff like that.
Well, it was like being a good person, showing the best of what humans have to offer.
Cleaning up after yourself. Recycling.
Oh, you're talking about Minoru Suzuki now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he did that at his show.
Great champion.
He is.
Wrestling in the rain. You know? It was, like you said, it was verbose. It was a bit much. I think, Vince, the reason why I don't think it's because whenever I think of Vince promos, I think of sparkle crotch, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
just
Roman
cheesy
stuff.
Triple H, he does a lot of very sort of Shakespearean, wants to be Shakespearean type stuff. This is takeover, that kind of stuff.
It was too much. Anyways, it all led to an open challenge. She says, she's a champion. I think it should be a situation where after pay-per-view, in good shape or bad, champion comes out and defends the title.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut backstage, and it's the entire Raw Women's division, save for Ronda Rousey, arguing at Gorilla with the producers who's going to answer the open challenge.
They're essentially all yelling at them to run their entrance music.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. And this totally confirms what we've talked about here on the show. When anybody asks us, in kayfabe, what is the deal with the open challenge? Who gets determined? It's whoever shows up at Gorilla position. So there's as soon as it's announced, there's a mad dash at Gorilla.
Yeah.
And in this case, all the women might have been in the same vicinity. They all run to the Gorilla position.
Yeah.
And they're all arguing. So, and then Stephanie comes over and she towers over all of them for some reason. Well, just because she was born that way. And she says, "Come over here. Come with me."
Yeah.
So she takes him out to the stage and says, "We're going to have an 8-woman gauntlet match to determine her opponent." That gauntlet starts right now.
The first two women involved will be Alicia Fox and Bayley.
Neither of whom should have been excited about that. It's a gauntlet match.
I know.
You never want to go first.
No, you don't want to go first.
You should, their reaction should have been,
dang.
Again?
First.
Stephanie.
Anyways.
So Bayley kind of had the Seth Rollins-ish. She lasted
three competitors.
Three people.
And probably about a half hour.
It should have been Ember Moon taking her out. She should have taken out Mickie James. Mickie James had a great performance.
Mickie James was the MVP of this.
She was
match
really
up
good
until the last one, because she was involved in a lot.
Yeah,
I know she was only in 2 matches, but man, she held it together. Because I was under the impression that the title match was going to happen at the main event of this show.
Yeah,
because I thought heard Stephanie said later tonight, but that she just could have misspoke, knowing that there was another episode of Raw happening right afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyways, I could have imagined it. But then once Alicia Fox versus Bayley went longer than about 5 minutes, I was like, oh, they're going to give this the whole last hour. Cool.
Yeah.
At one point, Bayley starts selling a leg injury. She beats Alicia via roll-up. But that's a story that continues until she's eventually eliminated. Next, after Alicia is eliminated, Dana Brooke comes in. Bayley eliminates her with a Bayley to belly. Again, selling a leg injury. People are trying to work it. Mickie James comes next. And this is kind of like the middle point of the match. And there was some portion of the crowd who just didn't seem into it, unfortunately. And so I don't know if it was consciously or not, or Mickie is just this much a professional. She really started to play with the crowd.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Which I think got people back into it.
She does that so well.
I know.
She does. She's so natural. I mean, she's been doing it forever.
Oh, yeah.
She's so natural at playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's great. No, I mean, look, man, it's a lot of just straight up wrestling. That's what it used to be back in like the 1910s.
I know.
You know, you just sit there for 3 hours in the sweltering sun.
2 guys.
Collar and elbow.
Yeah.
Lock up
Jockey,
endlessly.
not even really wrestling, jockeying for position so they can do a move.
Exactly. So I'm not sure if back then there were this is boring chants. I don't
There's
know.
too much money on the line for people who are betting for.
It wasn't
to
till
argue about the entertainment value of.
It wasn't until guys like Luthez came along and invented power bombs.
Yeah.
And cool moves.
And the me press.
Mm-hmm.
Since redubbed Luthez press, or did he just call it press?
I think he just called it the me. I think he called it the me press.
All right.
Oh, who invented that move? Me. I did.
I did press.
Yeah, I did press.
Bailey hits her top
It's
rope.
my press.
It's my press. It's her top rope elbow, but it's too close to the rope. Mickey grabs it on the ropes, and then Bailey's leg just can't handle it all. She's eventually eliminated with a DDT. Next, Ember Moon versus Mickie James. Again, Mickey's really playing to the crowd. Ember Moon hits an eclipse. It was great. It's the best move.
And man, Mickie James, she
sold
sells that
the
thing.
Heck out of it.
Oh man, and it's great when I even when she's stood up while Ember climbs to the top, Mickie James is swinging.
Oh yeah,
at
she
nothing.
starts flailing
She's
around,
swinging
it
at
was so
nothing.
good.
Eats that eclipse and does a flip. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely
It's
great.
Next, Natalya to the ring. She eliminates Ember with a roll-up, but it was a really good match. Then Ruby Riott versus Natalya.
The rest of the Riot Squad come down,
yeah.
so they're trying to get in the mix.
Natalya wins that with a roll-up too. And then the last match of the Gauntlet match, Sasha versus Natalya. This was fantastic.
This was really good, but man, Sasha needs to lay off the hubris. She was like posing in the crowd like, I want that title, Ronda, while Natalya was like totally fine. Like, you got to get on it. You got to get it. It's just in character, in kayfabe, whatever. You got to get on it. And she was not getting on it.
No.
Yeah.
No,
She thought she had it wrapped up.
celebrating too much. There was a bank statement Natalya got out of. Took 2 sharpshooters pretty much for Sasha to tap. Afterwards, Ronda comes down the ring, raises Natalya's hand. Then they kind of have a stare down. Ronda extends her hand. Natty shakes it. They hug. Some posing down the show.
Yeah.
All in all, not a perfect show. Hopeful that some of the stuff that the McMahon said to start the show will actually come to fruition. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Yep. We've got our Smackdown
preview.
preview here. Should be an interesting one. The era of Asuka begins. Are we going to get, let me ask you this. We're not going to get like a 20-minute McMahon thing.
No, I hope not.
It's not like there's anything wrong with SmackDown.
No, there's nothing wrong with SmackDown.
Like,
SmackDown is...
I think it'd be cool if Vince is there and Triple H is there. Like, maybe just show, hey, we're kind of serious about this whole thing. Because Shane made a point of saying, SmackDown 2.
Yeah,
So
but I'm hoping that it was kind of mentioned as an afterthought. All the stuff they were saying was more about Raw, and not so much about
I think
SmackDown.
so. I mean, that should be the case.
Yeah, because SmackDown's good.
Still, if you want, like, I want SmackDown to feel, loved by the McMahons. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because if it's loved by the McMahons, they'll get cool stuff. Or you want them to just forget it exists so we can enjoy it
We're
still.
getting cool stuff now.
I know.
And it seems like Vince doesn't care about it. So
But it's so good, and it needs to be rewarded. And I feel like a trip, it needs a hug from Vince.
No, because Vince will hug it and say, I know how to make this better.
Oh, no, don't do that.
And then it'll start to be garbage.
The era of Asuka begins. Asuka emerged victorious in the first ever women's TLC match on Sunday night, becoming the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Though she got an unexpected assist from Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, the Empress of Tomorrow has declared that she is now...
Wait, hold on.
She will declare that she is now...
The man!
Thank you. After defeating Becky Lynch and Charlotte
poll
Flair.
results.
No, I pulled that on you. Will anyone step up and try to bring Asuka's reign to a quick end?
How will Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair respond to Ronda Rousey's interference? Though Asuka is sure to be celebrating her newfound championship glory, the man and the queen are no doubt seething after Ronda Rousey shoved the ladder they had been climbing, sending them tumbling to the canvas and allowing the Empress of Tomorrow to claim the SmackDown Women's title for herself. How will Lynch and Flair respond to the baddest woman on the planet meddling in their affairs?
Will the new Daniel Bryan's crusade continue? I finally watched that interview with him where he talks about the leather strap, which he does just briefly. But, man, it is so good. It's like 4 minutes long. It's so good. Anyways, will the new Daniel Bryan's crusade continue? Following his tirade about the WWE Universe and his leather-strapped WWE Championship Sunday afternoon, the new Daniel Bryan took one step closer to making his worldview a reality, defeating AJ Styles to hang on to the WWE title at WWE TLC. Will Bryan make good on his vow to introduce a sustainable championship title? Yeah, it's sustainable. Yes. Will Styles still be on the hunt for the champion?
Oh, that's so good.
Hemp strap.
Yeah, man. Can anyone stop Thebar? The odds were stacked against Sheamus and Cesaro in their first SmackDown Tag Team Championship title triple threat. Oh, sorry, not the first. In their triple threat match at WWE TLC. However, Thebar once again showed why they are Team Blue's top tandem, fighting off the challenge of both the New Day and the Usos. With those two tag teams in the rearview mirror, who will be next to try to knock off Thebar? Find out tonight at 8/7 Central on USA Network.
Very exciting stuff.
Who's it going to be?
Who's the man? Who's it going to be? Anyways, let's do some questions.
Questions. Power Packers 90, thanks for helping me get through a grueling work week. No problem.
You're welcome.
Sean Lathrop, first day with Fox 55, Fort Wayne today. Wish me luck.
Ooh, Fort Wayne, Fox 50. Is he going to be on TV?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is he going to be like one of the anchors?
Good luck.
Good luck with that.
Elliot Smith, man, people hating so much for this segment, but to me it felt genuine. Takes time to make wholesale changes, and Raw was a good start in his opinion.
Tranquilo. We got another new patron, Tina Keys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the family, Tina. Oh, man, we got to talk about that just real quick.
What?
Last night, during one of the commercial breaks, they introduced, or maybe it was during the intermission. There was like hardly intermission.
No, there really wasn't intermission.
They introduced 3 people that they claimed.
Oh, yeah.
They scoured the arena to find 3 fans in the audience who had the best impersonations of WWE superstars. The first guy up did a really bad Hulk Hogan. So not only did he choose Hulk Hogan,
it was not good.
The impression wasn't good. God bless him, though.
Oh, he went there and tried. Yes.
He tried. That's not easy to do.
Nope.
The people booed him out of the building, and he had a big smile on his face. So, A for effort.
Yes.
Just next time, don't choose the guy who's got a lot of controversy around him, and then work on your impression.
The next woman who did Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Again, good effort.
Good effort. She tried.
Yeah.
And she even kind of had a little bit of his cadence.
Of the cadence, yeah.
All right. Then this little kid gets up there, right?
Says, I'm going to do the Undertaker.
Oh. Rest in peace. And then he like put his eyes in the back of his head. Crowd popped big.
Oh, yeah.
And he was rewarded with 2 front row tickets for the rest of the show.
Yeah. At one point, Seth Rollins saw him and said, hey.
In the words of Raven, what about me? What is going on?
She just went through one section.
That the guy who literally can do the Undertaker better than maybe even the Undertaker himself.
You still would have lost to the kid, though.
No, I wouldn't have.
You would have.
I would have got on the mic. They'd have been like, whoa, the Undertaker's actually here. They'd have been like, whoa.
No, you would have lost.
What's going on here?
You would have lost.
And then you and I could have been front row the rest of the time.
You would have lost to the kid.
Oh, my. I would have tombstoned him. That's what I would have done.
That is horrible.
Mine is superior.
You would have lost to the kid.
Anyways, continuing on.
Kyle Young, hey, it's the Hiroyo Matsumoto shirt I sent in. The shirt you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, man. I love this.
That's a great shirt.
Awesome. This is like
my
new favorite shirt. The design on this is great. Might be the last time you see it. Lacey has a tendency of stealing all my cool shirts and then just wearing them to bed. Like, it's a total waste. Like, wow, that's a really great looking shirt the world should see. I'm only going to wear it to bed. She's my Villain Marty Skrull shirt. She just wears to bed.
Why don't you take it back?
I'm sorry, what? Take it back?
Yeah.
From my wife?
Yeah.
Who is violent?
Well.
Because I don't like getting on the show with a black eye.
All right.
That's why I'm not going to take what you have been subjected to her violence.
Yeah.
That's only a pittance of what she does in the privacy of our home.
I mean, if it's a shirt,
are you trying to get me beat up?
If it's a shirt you like,
she's terrifying.
You should say, "Hey, this is a shirt I like wearing on the show."
She is terrifying.
All right. Well, Jeffrey Nguyen, Steve's periphery is so heightened he can see imaginary Hilton.
It's truth. Eddie Jose Guevara Menivar. How true is this whole the WWE Universe are the authority thing? And then I believe this is there at the bottom. It says, not at all true. At the end of the day, everything on the show happens based on the whims of a 73-year-old weirdo. That's basically my answer.
Yeah, that's true.
We are not the authority.
No. Biff Top Johnny. If Triple H were in charge, who would he push? Finn Balor.
Just go back and watch the end of
Raw 25. Who closes the show? Whose hand is Triple H holding up? It's Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. This is my guy.
Burning Fortress. How quickly are the NXT call-ups going to be buried? I mean, Nikki Cross and EC3 have the best shots.
I think Lars Sullivan has a decent shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're already running vignettes for him.
So it's heavy machinery. They will be buried.
Yeah, probably.
They will be buried. Let's see here.
Charvel Myers took off a month from wrestling. Now I'm back here. Have some money. I see I really haven't missed anything.
Thank you, Charvel Myers.
Thank you, Charvel. You haven't really missed much, no.
KJ, this is a good question. Whenever the horsewomen versus horsewomen bout finally takes place, which four are more likely to be the heels? That is going to be very interesting because the top heel in the women's division in any brand is Shayna Baszler, and the other two, and Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. Like, as a team, they are heel supreme. Ronda is face supreme. She really is. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people thought maybe her pushing that ladder. No, man, that's just
good storytelling.
She is super face. Yeah. She is super face.
Yeah. Listen to that promo she dropped last night.
Yeah.
Super face. Friendo Ron Armenta.
There's no. I'm sorry, we didn't answer the question. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, but if 75% of the MMA horsewomen are like super
then
heels,
Ronda's gonna have to be kind of heelish,
which I will love to see.
Yes,
I would really like to see that.
Ron Armenta.
Ron
met him yesterday. Great meeting him. Now that Baron Corbin is no longer general manager, do you think he will start wearing his gear again, or is it corporate Corbin here to stay? Give me corporate Corbin. Dress for the job you want, man.
I disagree 100%. That's one thing that you and I will never agree on. I want him back in his old gear. He's not an authority figure anymore. Therefore,
dress for the job you want. He wants to be general manager of Raw.
What happens if you lose that job?
You know, but here's the thing: is like Baron, pretty much in the beginning, is booked as kind of almost kind of a pathetic guy.
He is. His gimmick is he's humiliated all the time. Yeah.
So if he doesn't,
and yet he's still arrogant. Like he got humiliated, and then he goes to Seth and has the nerve to say, "Oh, that's right, Dean Ambrose took your title."
So yeah, he has to wear the humiliation by wearing his business casual stuff.
Gotcha.
Ron again says Steve Seffi thought the picture was cool, and she said Larson helped Steve not say bad words. Can you give her a shout out? I'll try, Seffi, not to keep your language in check.
I'm trying to be a better person, Seffi.
However, the problem is if I get on you about cussing, what's going to happen?
I'll probably do it more.
Yes. $2 super chat. Message retracted.
Nice. Those are my favorites. 6-inch Cyclops. Which WWE superstar most deserves a pipe bomb moment?
Finn Balor.
That'd be good.
Aaron, where should heavy machinery go? Both could use them. Probably Raw.
I think they should go to SmackDown. Here's the thing. SmackDown has really, really great tag team wrestling on lock, so they can afford to have a comedy act try to fit into that. Raw cannot afford to have another comedy act right now. They cannot. They're trying to legitimize their tag division. They should go to SmackDown.
We would never see him on SmackDown. Josh Gonna Be Green that says heel wife. I think in reference to
yeah, man.
Lacey.
Let's see here.
Josh Little says, here's a hint about what I sent you. Golden. Apparently Josh Little sent us some gold. Some
gold bullion.
Some bouillon.
Doubloons. Yar. That's awesome.
Gold is a good investment.
It is. It's a really good investment. Wolfpack for life. Now that we're getting close to the Hall of Fame speculation season, I rewatched your 10 people that would never get in the Hall of Fame. Since Double J made it in, are there any others that could make it in? Here's your list in order. Number 10, Vince Russo.
No.
With a laugh.
No.
With the laugh.
Yeah, no.
Sabu.
No.
Why not Sabu?
Like he says like weird unhinged stuff kind of on a somewhat
Okay,
regular
fair
basis.
enough.
So not give him a live mic.
Dynamite Kid. Possible. It's definitely
possible.
Dude, they gave him the lower third on their deep cuts.
Yeah, it's possible.
He'll probably get in this year.
Possible, yeah.
Probably are the Bulldogs as a tag team in?
I don't believe so.
That's going to be it. That's going to be it as a tag team. Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, he's in.
He's in. He made it. Shane Douglas.
No.
He's too disassociated with the company. And he's not like a big enough name for them to like.
No, and he's burned so many bridges.
Yeah. Lex Luger. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a little while.
What has he done that like warrants him not getting in?
I think it was just the association with
Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. You know, I know he works for he does some like outreach work for the company.
Yeah, he'll get in. Might
Maybe
be this year because it might be this year. I could see that happening. CM Punk.
No.
Maybe with a laugh. Scott Steiner.
No.
You know what's sad is that the most deserving tag team that isn't in is the Steiner brothers. Yeah, and maybe even the Bulldogs. China.
She really should.
That'll happen. I think that'll happen. There's been so much fan movement on that. That'll happen. Oh, yeah, and then number one, not saying number one because it'll never actually happen. I'm pretty sure we probably put Benoit number one.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it'll never happen. We didn't put Owen Hart on there?
That's not going to happen.
Owen Hart's not on there?
I think that'll happen. It's just going to be a while. Everybody softens their stance eventually, dude.
Yeah,
I think they do.
This takes his wife.
I know.
Softening her stance.
And I think that'll probably happen.
Keith Roberts, shock, no dream call-up. What's next for him in NXT? Apparently he was lobbying for a call-up yesterday or this morning and then deleted all the tweets.
Ah, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, don't do that. It's your job.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I know. It's like a lot of money. And yes, you should be there, but just chill out, okay? And on top of that, what's your hurry, man? They're just going to ruin you.
I know.
Don't be in a rush, Dream.
I know.
They're going to ruin you.
I know.
Let's see here. Tyler Riot says that Raw was actually enjoyable. Could this actually be how things will be done from now on? We'll see. It's a big wait and see, man. It's a big wait and see.
Yeah, it really is.
And I know that you can't it's a difficult thing to be like, oh yeah, no, I've got full faith. I'm not saying that at all.
No.
There's no reason to have faith in the McMahons. None. But Triple H is out there. I have lots of faith in him.
Yes.
Let's see here.
I mean, I guess the moral of all this is just because they instantly deliver on what they said they were going to do doesn't mean they're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a great question. Penultimate Tommy Wiseau. Can a well-booked gauntlet match instantly bring back relevance to a wrestler who's been in mid-card purgatory?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look what it did for Seth. Not that he was in mid-card purgatory, but he was kind of floundering a bit.
If you put Zack Ryder in Seth's position and had him pull off that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which anybody can. It's wrestling. They can do it. All those guys are cardio to the gills. Josh Little, do you think that Paige is still going to be the GM of SmackDown?
I hope so.
If they do remove her from being GM, power rank, what would be her next position in WWE? She will be GM. She will absolutely be GM. She's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Storyline, there's zero reason to fire her, and the fans would hate that.
Yeah.
They would hate that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is interesting. Samuel Bronkowitz. How awful was that tie Vince was wearing last night?
He wears those two-tone ties where the knot's one color and the rest of the ties a different color.
Did they run? I'm curious. Let's see in chat. Did they run the XFL promo?
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Did they run that during the intermission? I feel like there was zero intermission. There was
no, it was at one point we went to the bathroom.
I think it was during the intermission. Ryan Rugani, will WWE put KO and Sami in a tag team when they come back? He says he hopes not.
I just want something meaty for him.
I want something good for them.
Yeah.
I want something
whether
really good for
as
them.
a single wrestlers or a tag team.
And I feel like Sami as a heel, and I know a lot of it was creative. It's not something I don't think he can do. I think he could probably pull it off amazingly. But the creative behind him as a heel was always really bad.
Yeah, no.
They should
do the Telestrator idea where he goes and criticizes people's matches.
I love that idea.
Burning Fortress, please call up Jack Potato Larson. Fun Wrestling hasn't even started yet.
I know. Tranquilo, please. Oh, wow. This one got a lot of upvotes. Wrestle King 68. Do you think this may be Vince's way, even behind the scenes, I think he's saying, of giving Triple H, Shane, and Stephanie more control in the company while he pursues the XFL? I don't think behind the scenes much is going to change. Nope. I think they probably just recognize that there are certain things the fans aren't responding to, and they're going to change that. But I would find it really difficult to believe they're actually literally going to change any of the stuff behind the scenes. I just think they recognize that, man, what we're doing isn't working. Yep. We just need to do something different that doesn't involve changing the entire process.
Corporate structure of the company.
Right, exactly.
Because, word of Vince stepping down is probably going to cause the stock price to plummet.
Mm-hmm.
Plummet.
Oh my God, yeah.
So no, he's not.
They all think that Vince is keeping it together.
They think Vince is wrestling, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, apparently, so according to Tina Keys here in chat, the XFL thing is usually during intermission. We had the same promo here in Raw in Seattle.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like the same. I think it was the same act they got to do the last year's 2K18. It was sort of the rap thing, the commercial, which is really, really well done. They got the same thing, the same act guy, whatever, to do the XFL one. It was okay. Anyways, I think that's it for the show.
Yep, good show.
Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Patrons, what day is it today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing Truth Exposed.
Truth Exposed. We got to find something to do Truth
man,
Exposed
$5 and up. You're going to enjoy this one. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time. We'll talk to you guys later. There's
Goodbye.
some music for you.
Bye.